Good morning, and thank you for joining me for this Sunday sermon from Holy Saviour Church. I'd like to begin this morning by reading to you a few verses from Mark's Gospel, chapter 9. After 6 days, Jesus took Peter, James and John with him and led them up a high mountain, where they were all alone. There he was transfigured before them. His clothes became dazzling white, whiter than anyone in the world could bleach them. And there appeared before them Elijah and Moses, who were talking with Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, "Rabbi, it is good for us to be here. Let us put up 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He did not know what to say. They were so frightened. Then a cloud appeared and covered them, and a voice came from the cloud, "This is my son, whom I love. Listen to him." Suddenly, when they looked around, they no longer saw anyone with them except Jesus. As they were coming down the mountain, Jesus gave them orders not to tell anyone what they had seen until the Son of Man had risen from the dead. The human face is incredibly important. To remember a person is to remember that person's face. And if you can't picture a face, then that person is kind of lost to us. They become like a sort of a shadow. And it's remarkable and extraordinary the different expressions that can be seen on the human face. That's why faces make such an interesting study, not least to artists and photographers. The face tends to reveal something of who we are and what life has done to us. And it explains why we use the word face so much when we're talking about other people. So we'll say, for example, "Oh, you should have seen her face when I said that." In other words, on the face we can read what other people are feeling inside, how they really are, whether they're sad or happy, whether they're shocked or even just completely indifferent. We have such phrases as losing face and saving face. And here what's at stake is a person's reputation. We might say a person is two-faced, and that's quite a serious thing to say about anyone. It implies that someone is deceitful. And we also might say that people are faceless. It implies that they're perhaps hiding behind others or behind a system, and they're too cowardly to come out from the shadows and take responsibility for their actions. In reality, all of us have many, many different faces. At different times in our lives and in different situations, we wear faces of happiness or sadness, faces of courage or fear, faces of peace or unrest, or of hope or despair, or of joy or pain, or of friendship or of hostility. There's nothing wrong with all of that. There's nothing to be ashamed in all of that, because it's part of what it is to be human. But the only thing to be ashamed of is a dishonest face, a false face. All the other faces are real, they're telling the truth, whereas a false face is telling a lie. And why is it then that people are reluctant to let their real face be seen? Why do they insist on putting on a kind of a mask? Is it they're afraid to be seen in their weakness? Hence the need always to kind of wear a smile for people sometimes, even when they're crying inside themselves. We're told that on the mountain, in the passage that I just read to you, in some of the translations, we're told that Jesus' face shone like the sun. And it's a mistake to think that that was somehow the whole real face of Jesus. What the apostles saw was real. It did reveal something of his inner glory that at other times was hidden from them. But to say that it was the real face of Jesus implies that somehow the other faces that he wore were not real, that they were false. But the face that Jesus showed on Mount Tabor was a very special one, but not his only face. He had all the faces that you and I have, except false ones. At various times, Jesus' face must have showed weariness and disappointment and anger and gentleness and compassion and sadness and fear and anguish. All those faces were real. Behind all of them lay the person of Jesus, human like us, but also carrying within him the splendour of divinity. Hence, this is my beloved Son. It's said that the face is the window of the soul. But even if that's true, every face probably conceals more than it shows, than it reveals. What is essential about another person remains invisible. Every person always does remain to an extent a mystery. Our own divine greatness, as well as that of others, is hidden from us. We have to live by faith, and that faith assures us that behind the most ordinary of all human faces lies a child, a son or a daughter of God, a brother or a sister of Jesus Christ, who is bound for eternal glory. Our hymn for today is "And Can It Be?" And may God's peace go with you.